Barda Pawb! Welcome to your maths learning video for Thursday. Now, yesterday you guys did a fantastic job of rounding numbers to the nearest 10. But today we're going to be rounding numbers again, but not to the nearest 10. This time we're going to be rounding our numbers to the nearest 100. So I think it would be a great way to start today if we could count up in our hundreds. Try and do it with me as I'm writing them on the board. So if we start from 0, 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, what comes next? 800, 900. What comes after 900? Can you remember? Diane, it's 1,000. Fantastic. And if you were to carry on from there as well, I wonder if any of you could tell me what 100 comes after 1,000. It would be 1,100. Diane. So, we've counted up in our hundreds. We all know what our hundreds numbers are. So today, you are going to be using the golden rule, a little bit similar to what we did yesterday, but to round up to the nearest 100. Now, when you're rounding to the nearest 100, we don't need to worry about our ones number. Instead, we're going to be looking at our tens number in our golden rule today. So, golden rule for rounding to the nearest 100 is if the number in the tens column is 5 or more, we round up to the nearest 100. If the number in the tens is 4 or less, we round down to the nearest 100. So, let's give it a go, rounding these numbers to the nearest 100. I'm going to write them into my place value column so you can really easily see what I'm doing. So our first number is 234. Now when we're rounding to the nearest 100, we don't need to worry about what's in our ones. Instead, in our golden rule, it tells us that we need to think about what number we've got in our tens column. So, if the number in the tens is 5 or more, we round up. And if the number in the tens is 4 or less, we round down. The number in the tens is 3. So what do you think we would need to do? Diane, that's right. We'd need to round down to the nearest 100. So if we were to go down to the nearest 100, that 100 number stays the same. So that would give us 200. Because we've gone down to the nearest 100. Let's try another few together. Our next number is 567. So write that again in my place value column. This is something that you can do at home during this task if you think it would be helpful. Draw yourself a place value grid. So this time we've got 567. Don't need to worry about our ones number. Our tens number is 6, so which of our golden rules do we need to use? Fantastic. If the number in the tens is 5 or more, which 6 definitely is, we need to round up to the nearest 100. So, what would be the next 100 after 500 if we're rounding up to the nearest 100? That's right, our next one would be 6. So we would have 600 if we rounded this number to the nearest 100. We're going to do 2 more together and then you guys are going to carry on with your tasks. So, next up we have got 123. Don't worry about our number in the ones column, number in the tens column. What number is it? It's 2. It's less than 4. If it's less than 4, then we need to round down to the nearest 100. So this number will stay the same. So 123 rounded to the nearest 100. We go down to 100. Right, last one. And this one, I promise you, is a tricky one. Let's rub these out. So our last one is 982. So, don't worry about our ones number, we look at our number in our tens. If the number in the tens is 5 or more, we round up to the nearest 100. Is 8 more than 5? Yes, it is. So we need to round up to the next 100, don't we? But we've already got 9 in our hundreds here. Can you have 10 hundreds? You can't, can you? What does it become? Can any of you guess? Diana, those of you who have got it, you can't have 10 hundreds. Instead, it would make it 1,000. Okay, good luck on your task today. I will briefly tell you what you need to be doing. So in the instructions for your task today, you need to have made digit cards. So they look like this. The digit cards are individual cards that have the numbers 0 to 9 on them. What you need to do, once you've made all of your cards 0 to 9, you need to place them out in front of you, face down so that you can't see them. Then, you need to choose a card one at a time until you have 3 digit cards. So the first card I'm going to choose is a 1. So I would write the number 1. The next card I'm going to choose is a 8. So I would write the number 8 there. And the last card I'm going to choose is a 2. So I've now made my number 182. What we're going to do with that number is round it to the nearest 100. So using my golden rule, if the tens number is 5 or more, we round up to the nearest 100. So I could draw a little arrow. This number would become 200. Now I want you to do that with your digit cards. Make your own numbers. And I want you to do that at least 10 times. Okay, so lots of really good practice. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit further, you could pick out 4 digit cards, and that would make a number in the thousands that you need to round up to the nearest 100 instead. Good luck! Au revoir!